Two 14-year-old girls, an abandoned bridge, one recording, 43 seconds of video. Guys, down the hill. Those 4 words would haunt America for 7 years, because the girl who recorded them knew she was about to die. She filmed her own killer. Millions saw his face, millions heard his voice, and he was hiding in plain sight the entire time, working at the local pharmacy, filling prescriptions, helping customers, living 5 minutes from where he murdered them. For 7 years, his name is Richard Allen. He confessed 60 times. But the most terrifying part? He looked exactly like your neighbor. This is the story of how evil hides in the most ordinary places, and how one girl's courage finally brought it to justice. Welcome back to the hidden world. What I'm about to tell you will make you question everyone around you. February 13th, 2017. Delphi, Indiana. Population, 3,000. The kind of town where nothing bad happens. Until it did. Abigail Williams, 13. Liberty German, 14. Best friends since elementary school. They had a day off. Beautiful weather. They wanted to go hiking, take some photos, have an adventure. Libby's older sister dropped them off at 1:49 p.m. She watched them walk away. 2 girls laughing, excited, carefree. That was the last time anyone saw them alive. At 2:07 p.m., Libby posted a photo to Snapchat. Abby walking across the Monon High Bridge, an abandoned railroad trestle, 63 feet high, 800 feet long, rotting wooden planks, no railings, just open air, and a 60-foot drop. In that photo, Abby is smiling, happy, completely unaware, because somewhere in those woods, someone was watching them. At 3:30 p.m., Libby's father arrived to pick them up. They weren't there. By 5:45 p.m., police were searching, all night with flashlights and dogs. The next day, Valentine's Day, at 12:15 p.m., a searcher found them, half a mile from the bridge, hidden in the woods, both dead. Murdered. But Libby had done something extraordinary, something that would solve this case 7 years later. In her final moments, facing unimaginable terror, she pulled out her phone, and she recorded everything. 43 seconds. Grainy footage, but clear enough. A man, walking on the bridge behind them, hands in his pockets, blue jeans, blue jacket, getting closer, and then his voice, crystal clear, commanding, cold. Guys. A pause. Down the hill. This is the voice of their killer, captured by a 14-year-old girl who knew she was about to die. Police released this to the public immediately. The image went viral. The audio played on every news station in America. Millions of people saw his face. Millions heard his voice. Someone out there knows who this is, police said. We believe you've just heard the voice of the killer. Tips poured in. 60,000 tips. From all 50 states. But none led anywhere, because the man on the bridge had vanished. Like a ghost. The investigation became the largest in Indiana history. The FBI got involved. Billboards across 46 states. $200,000 reward. Thousands of interviews. Years passed. 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Every February 13th, police held press conferences. We haven't forgotten. Someone out there knows something. In 2019, police released a new sketch, completely different from the first. Younger, different face. We have a witness, they said. Someone who saw him that day. And then Superintendent Doug Carter said something chilling. To the killer, who may be in this room, we believe you're hiding in plain sight. You may have changed your appearance. You may have moved away. Or you may still be here, living among us, acting normal. But we're going to find you. The message was clear. The killer was a local, someone who knew the area, someone who had blended back into the community. But who? True crime obsessives analyzed every frame. Podcasts dissected every detail. Amateur detectives named countless suspects. Some innocent men had their lives ruined by false accusations. The families never gave up hope. Kelsey German, Libby's sister, became an advocate. She refused to let her sister be forgotten, but as the years went by, many lost hope. Maybe this was a case that would never be solved. And then, October 26, 2022, 5 years and 8 months after the murders, everything changed. Indiana State Police held an unexpected press conference. "We have made an arrest in the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German." The room erupted. Families wept. The entire town exhaled. Finally, after all these years, his name was Richard Matthew Allen, age 50, from Delphi, Indiana, a pharmacy technician at the local CVS, married, a father, a grandfather. He looked like everyone's harmless uncle, balding, glasses, slightly overweight, and he had been living in Delphi the entire time, working at the pharmacy on Main Street, 5 minutes from the crime scene, helping customers, filling prescriptions for the victims' families. For 5.5 years, while the entire world searched for him, his co-workers were stunned. "He was just here yesterday," one said, "helping customers, being normal." His neighbors couldn't believe it. "He's lived next door for years, never had a problem, never saw anything weird." But here's the most shocking part. Richard Allen had come forward to police, voluntarily, just days after the murders. He said he'd been on the trails that day, February 13th, between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m., the exact time the girls were there. He gave a statement. Police filed it away, and somehow, incredibly, it was never properly followed up on. For 5 years, his tips sat in the system, overlooked, buried under 60,000 other tips, until September 2022, when a volunteer reviewing old tips noticed something. A man had called in, saying he was on the trails, at the exact time of the murders, and nobody had ever followed up. They tracked down Richard Allen, interviewed him again. This time, his story changed. Now he said he was there from 12 to 1:30 p.m., not 1:30 to 3:30. Red flags went up. Police searched his home, found a gun, a Sig Sauer .40 caliber. Ballistics tests showed that a spent cartridge found at the crime scene had been cycled through that gun. Witnesses came forward. Multiple people saw a man matching his description on the trails that day, covered in mud or blood, walking away around 3:30 p.m. When they compared his appearance to the man in Libby's video, his height, his build, his walk, it matched. Voice experts analyzed his voice against Guys Down the Hill. Significant similarities. On October 26, 2022, Richard Allen was arrested, charged with 2 counts of murder. After his arrest, Richard Allen was placed in isolation, Westville Correctional Facility, maximum security, under constant surveillance, and something strange started happening. He started confessing, over and over and over. According to prosecutors, he confessed more than 60 times, to guards, to psychologists, to fellow inmates, on recorded phone calls to his wife, on recorded phone calls to his mother. "I did it. I killed Abby and Libby. I'm so sorry." He gave details that had never been released to the public, details only the killer would know. He described following the girls across the bridge, ordering them down the hill. He said he intended to sexually assault them, but was scared off by a white van nearby. Then, in a panic, he killed them. With a box cutter, he covered their bodies with sticks, and ran. The defense argued these confessions were unreliable. They said he was experiencing psychosis. Months of solitary confinement had broken him mentally. He was eating his own feces, hitting his head against walls, talking to himself constantly. You can't trust the words of someone in that state, they said. But prosecutors had a powerful response. His confessions contained details only the killer would know. The box cutter, the white van, specific details about the crime scene, and witnesses confirmed parts of his confession. A local man testified he was driving his white van near the trails that afternoon, right when Allen said he was scared off. The timeline matched perfectly. The trial began October 18, 2024, 7 years and 8 months after the murders. No cameras allowed. To protect the victim's dignity, The prosecution presented their case methodically. The video from Libby's phone. The audio. Guys. Down the hill. The ballistics evidence. The eyewitness testimony. The 60 confessions. The defense fought hard. Ballistics aren't definitive, they said. Eyewitnesses were contaminated by seeing the video for years. The confessions were psychosis. There's no DNA evidence. But the jury didn't buy it. 19 hours of deliberation over 3 days. November 11th, 2024. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. The courtroom went silent. On the charge of murder in the death of Abigail Williams, we find the defendant guilty. Gasps. Tears. On the charge of murder in the death of Liberty German, we find the defendant guilty. Guilty on all 4 counts. 7 years of waiting. 7 years of hoping. 7 years of fighting. Finally, justice. Richard Allen showed no emotion. His wife left in tears. Outside, the news spread instantly. Guilty. After 7 years, the Delphi murderer convicted. He faces 130 years in prison. He will die behind bars. But even with justice served, questions remain. Why? Why did he do it? He didn't know the girls. No history of violence. No criminal record. This appears to have been his first crime. Experts believe it was a crime of opportunity. A man with dark fantasies he'd kept hidden, who saw 2 vulnerable girls alone, and couldn't resist. And if Libby hadn't recorded him, he'd still be free, still working at that pharmacy, still hiding. Think about that. For 7 years, he attended memorial walks for the girls. He saw his own image posted in stores. He heard his own voice on TV. He filled prescriptions for the victims' families, and nobody suspected him, because he looked normal. That's what makes this so terrifying. Richard Allen wasn't a monster with dead eyes. He wasn't some obvious predator. He was a pharmacy technician, a husband, a grandfather, your neighbor, the guy at the grocery store. He looked like everyone else. And that's the point. Evil doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always look like we expect. Sometimes it's the person standing next to you, smiling, acting normal, hiding in plain sight. How many other Richard Allens are out there right now? We don't know. And that's what should keep us vigilant. But there's also hope in this story. Liberty German's courage saved countless lives. In her final moments, facing unimaginable terror, she thought to record. She left evidence. She made sure the world would know. That's not just smart. That's heroic. Her sister Kelsey said it best. Libby is the hero of this story. Without her courage, this monster would still be free. The case teaches us vital lessons. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Stay aware of your surroundings, even in safe places, even in small towns. It can happen anywhere. Document danger when possible. Record evidence. Send your location to friends. Leave a trail. And never give up on justice. 7 years. But they never stopped fighting. Abby would be 21 now. Libby would be 22. They should be in college, starting careers, chasing dreams. Instead, they're frozen in time, forever 13 and 14. Forever 2 best friends on a bridge. But their legacy lives on. Their story will save lives. Their courage will inspire others. Rest in peace, Abigail Williams. Rest in peace, Liberty German. You are heroes. And to Richard Allen, you will spend the rest of your life in a cage, where you belong. Justice has been served. This has been The Hidden World. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe so you never miss a case. Comment what case you want next. Because, as this proves, evil doesn't always look like evil. Sometimes it looks like the person at the pharmacy, the neighbor waving from their porch, the guy you pass without a second thought. The monsters aren't always in the shadows. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. Stay safe out there. Trust your instincts. Stay aware, because you might save a life. Maybe even your own. Until next time.